Rocket.
Very nice to meet you.
Erwin.
How you doing? This is my chat right here. Yes, sir, Erwin. Chat. Nice to meet y'all. Yeah.
Morning.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Very excited for this tour, man.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, let's do it, man.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So, have you all been here before?
No, never. First timers. First timers
When he
here.
was a kid.
Okay. Oh wow. So, is everybody from around here, or you're all
I'm
over?
from Austin. They're all
Yeah, he's
from.
fake Austin.
He's from Sweden.
Sweden?
From LA. Yeah.
I'm not from LA.
Oh wow.
We kind of rip all over.
Where are you from?
I grew up here, but I originally from Florida.
Nice.
And
Oh, Florida. Legit.
yes.
Yeah.
But I went to flight school. I had one of my roommate was from Sweden.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude, what was his name?
Matthias. Yes.
Okay.
So we call him Matt. But y'all have an astronaut. Did you know Sweden has an astronaut?
Who?
His name is Fogelberg, and it was such a big thing for Sweden.
I didn't
or
know
Scandinavians in general. So the Norwegians and the Danes started trying to jump in.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So okay, so that is a real
No shot.
test article, lunar lander. It's identical to the ones that landed on the moon.
That's how big
Well,
it is.
that's
Yes.
Wait, I thought that thing was small.
Just imagine, just two people.
Wow.
No rooms for seats. But what I want to show you, the new stuff, and then we'll come back to the history.
crazy.
Put it out in the outer space.
There's a lot of hot bags, bro.
Yeah, that's definitely hot bag.
Bro, I would have had to have some fucking turtles up in that joint, bro.
Okay, so
What did he
our
laugh like?
museum was
You know, you
built
understand what I'm
around
saying.
this, and this is the training module for the Skylab, which was our first U.S. space station back in the 1970s. Identical in every way. It was the third stage of the Saturn V. We're going to visit Saturn V a little bit later
Cool.
today. So let's go through here. It gives you an idea of how we were thinking we were going to live in
America's
space.
first space station.
Yes.
So a space station is basically just the first station to be in space.
Right. So it's just a laboratory, just to see if people can live.
Whoa!
Yeah, I know.
What the fuck? That's a spinning man.
I know, man. It catches everybody.
Holy
Steven's
shit.
setting this up for you, man. Okay, so some things that we still do today. We use an exercise bicycle.
Wait, so let me ask you a question real quick. Sorry. So this is what it looked like.
Yes.
This how big it was too?
Yes.
Dude, this big?
Yes.
That's pretty cozy.
That's pretty big. And they just float around all day?
They float around, and they were seeing out how we can live long duration in space.
Wow. Yeah, sorry, what'd you say again?
Okay, so they have to exercise because in space, your body's very intelligent, and your bones start to atrophy, which means they get smaller, and your body starts getting rid of calcium almost immediately because you don't have gravity pulling on your skeleton.
Interesting.
So exercise is our best prevention on that sort of thing.
Wow.
We still do that today. I think they exercise around 2.5 hours a day.
Just on the bike going?
On the bike, we do resistance, almost like a bow lift. It's called ARAD.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So this was the first one.
First one, we don't do a
Holy
shower anymore. No more shower. And the beds, don't they look like what? Coffins? Yeah.
So he's in there?
Yeah, so we stopped doing that. They sleep in sleeping bags now.
Yeah.
So, when you're doing something that nobody's ever done before, the first time, you have some growing pains.
Damn, so if that's the first, then what does the newest look like?
Holy.
Holy.
Now, we're heading over to the Falcon 9 on our
Wait,
way.
Falcon 9, so why do I recognize that so much?
Okay, so that's SpaceX's rocket.
Oh,
where
that's
they sent
what it
up
is.
the
Okay, yeah.
Dragon, yes. And so this is the access arm. If you were an astronaut in the 80s all the way through the mid-2000s, this was your last stop to the space shuttle. So
So this is where you would walk.
this is where you walk. Several hundred feet up in the air. The whole world's watching you. No going back for your cell phone. That's it.
Wow.
It's
Steps right into it.
Yeah, and you have a group of guys dressed up in white suits that help strap you into the space shuttle.
That's
Cell
insane.
phones on the space station?
No,
Strap
not that I'm aware of.
Chat.
They have the ability of using voice over IP. We started doing that around like 2008, 2010 time period. But before, you used to have to go to mission control.
To do any
Yeah,
communication?
because think about it. You're going to be flying over a lot of the, well, not necessarily. We're about 250 miles, so the communication satellites would still be up there. But any interference can interfere with the electronics on board the ISS.
So that is where I like walk before I enter rocket.
Yes. This is it. This is what it looks like, man.
That's insane. This is where I would enter rocket, like
Okay.
fully like consumed. Wow, that's actually crazy. That is really, really crazy.
It's still a very dangerous thing to do because rockets tend to be explosive. So if things don't go right,
I know, yeah.
Yes.
Hella explosive.
I mean, that's, in fact, we're looking at other alternatives to get into space.
So what's this
besides-
plane about right here?
The 747 was the space shuttle carrier. In fact, this is the real airplane. So from
This the real airplane?
This is the real airplane. So from the 1970s all the way through 2011.
Jeez.
Yes.
Wait, so what does that mean, the shuttle? Like,
The orbiter, you see, we call the space shuttle system, the airplane part of it is called the orbiter. And that's our model of the shuttle. We're looking to get a real one down the road.
holy
So
shit.
this thing would fly, take care of that thing.
Yes.
That's
so
insane.
here's the problem. So my home state of Florida has a weather problem. Too many thunderstorms. And so a lot of times if we couldn't land in Florida, we land in California. And that's how we first started the shuttle program. We land out in the desert over at Edwards Air Force Base. And then we built a runway, get this, 5 kilometers long, 3 miles. And it's about a mile wide. It's huge. And the shuttle would land on that. And then we had emergency landing sites all around the world. A lot of people didn't realize that the weather had to be good in Spain. Why Spain? Because if the shuttle went up and we lost some engine power, our first stop is going to be Europe. And we land in Zaragoza. And if we overshot that, we'd land in Turkey. We even have an emergency landing site in...
Sweden?
No.
Yeah,
Sweden is tough.
it is.
Mountain.
Yeah, Sweden is, so like, you know, not to digress, but Sweden has really tough flight conditions. They only take really experienced pilots. So this is too fragile.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay.
It's huge.
Yes.
Huge.
How much bigger is this than a normal 747?
Oh,
This is, so this one is a early version of the 747. So it's not quite a 200. And what that means, I think the latest we had was a 747-800,
Yeah.
and we had one that was stretched even further. But this one is from the 70s. It was originally an
this
airliner.
one is 70s?
Yes.
How is this like still that good in the 70s?
Okay. So we maintain aircraft very well. So the
Yeah.
airframes are to last around 25 to 30 years, if not more. The engines on the 747, those aren't the original engines on this airplane because the ones that were left, they're still being used today.
Wow.
These are Rolls-Royce Trent engines.
Rolls-Royce engine
Yes.
on a plane.
No, you remember that PJ we were on? They had Rolls Royce.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Most Boeings and Rolls-Royce, I think.
I didn't even know that.
It depends.
Yeah.
So there's the competitor to Rolls-Royce, which is GE and Pratt & Whitney. So some of these 74s have GE engines, some of them have Pratt & Whitney. But Rolls-Royce, that particular engine was a breakthrough. It was very efficient, less noise, more thrust,
Golly.
and that's why it's still being used today.
So sexy.
Okay. So
Why are you laughing? Like,
a little of my background, I teach aircraft technicians, so I teach them how to maintain aircraft. At least that's the idea. And
that's some high level IQ right there.
well, yes, but we all work as a team.
Yeah.
So you can be really smart, but you have to work just like how you all are
Yeah, of
working
course.
together.
A team.
And you proofread each other's work.
Yeah. Team is stronger than a person, right?
Than an individual.
Exactly,
Yes.
individual,
No I in team.
That's what I was looking for, I think. I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Did you get a degree in aerospace engineering?
No, I got it in economics. But my passion
Economics, wow.
is. I know. That's what I
crazy is
said
that?
too.
Yeah.
I went to college and I'm going like, what is the quickest way I could get out of there? I wasn't that great of a student.
So can I ask you how you got into even like how hard is it to get into this sort of field, if that makes sense?
It is relatively hard, but if you have a passion for it, you'll find a way.
Yeah.
So I always knew this is where I wanted to be.
Yeah, that's amazing, man.
And so when I graduated, I was going, how am I going to get into aviation? How am I going to get into aerospace? And the first thing I found that I had my team was to go to aircraft mechanics school. And there I met somebody from the space industry, a flight director by the name of Pete Frank, and that set me on a certain trajectory. And then later, 2 years later, I went and got my pilot's ratings, where I went all the way to commercial pilot. And I met my buddy Mateus. And Mateus today is kind of interesting. He's a test pilot for Gulfstream. You ever heard of a Gulfstream before?
That's a private jets, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The best of the best. They're considered the Rolls Royce of private jets.
Wow.
And I remember when he came in, I go, there's no party. You got to be in the books. I woke up in the morning, Mateus was in the book. We have breakfast, Mateus has asked me questions. And then shortly after that, he got his ratings and he got a job working for Gulfstream. And then I forgot.
Right after?
Yes.
And
But
then
he's still
kept going.
Yeah, it's still going. I don't know. Now he probably can fly in Sweden, but initially no.
Yeah.
So he was just flying in the States.
Crazy, man. Shout out Mateus, man. For real,
When you
yeah.
say flying, what do you mean? Like in a spaceship? Like astronaut?
Oh,
No,
dumb.
no. He's just an aviator. So I have two
That's a
students.
good question.
No, it's not. You're not listening. Yeah,
Okay.
like,
So I have two students in this business. One is working on a spacesuit. The other one is working on engines for SpaceX. And
engine for eight.
SpaceX,
Wow, one of
yeah.
your
So I
students?
feel, yeah.
That's awesome. You get to. So you taught somebody that now use that knowledge to work on SpaceX.
Yes.
That's actually crazy. That's cool. That is cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got offered, would you ever go in space?
Yes. Yes. But it's if you look at now, it's so much easier than what it was before because we had the commercial industry. But back in the day when, say, Stephen was selected as an astronaut.
Oh, it would be the biggest thing in the world, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that means your whole family has to be the team. And it's really tough on the family. It's tough on the
Wait,
kids.
really? Is that how it is?
Yeah. Because you're always away. You're working for the government first, family second.
Yeah.
So that's really hard on a family. So the divorce rates were, in the early days, were really high.
Oh,
like 85%.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I saw that Lance Armstrong, or not Lance Armstrong, Neil Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong, yeah. Because everybody wants a piece of you.
You know who Neil Armstrong is?
Yeah, of course. First person on the moon. Come on, stop playing with me. Seriously, man. I went to school. I got a question before we keep going. So this is actually very interesting to me, but so how do you even get quote unquote selected or get into, just how I asked you to get into the field that you're in right now, how do an astronaut even navigate through becoming one in the first place?
Okay, so you got to have a deep passion. So now you have to figure out, do I really want to do this?
Right.
Then you got to get your team on board. That means their whole family, everybody has to be behind you on that.
Yeah.
And then the next step, you got to do certain things. You got to have an education with a background in a STEM field. So what does that mean? Engineering, mathematics, science, a hard science. Okay, so once you accomplish that, you got to be in good shape.
Okay.
So you got to be physically fit. You got to have some experience behind you. Okay. The basic degree you need is at least a Bachelor of Science, but most of them have masters or PhDs, and then that chops it down there. And then you apply. We make it really easy. You can apply.
You apply?
Yes, you can do it online.
No shot.
Fully qualified.
Yeah.
Well, do you have to read well to be an astronaut?
Yes.
Okay.
But don't worry about that. You get better.
Okay.
Okay. And then
So you apply online if you have all those
credentials.
requirements.
Yes.
And then what? You just get selected?
Okay. Then they have a group. It's like you're competing against thousands of people. And then say a movie like The Martian comes out, it gets even more
of
popular.
course,
Yes.
of course, yeah.
And then once you say you make it to the next wave, you get interviewed. Then they bring you over here for the last cut.
Here.
Yes. And then, I think when they finally pick you, they fly you over here.
So what do they do here that solidifies the decision? Like
Okay, so this is the home of astronaut training.
Oh.
This is where, if you say you're from Sweden,
Yeah.
and you get selected by the European Space Agency, or even if you're Russian and you get picked by Roscosmos, if you're going to go up to the space station, you train over here because you train as a team. So everybody knows everybody. on that respect. And then you get assigned a mission. So if initially you're called an ASCAN, which stands for Astronaut Training Candidate. Once you accomplish the 2 years of astronaut training, candidate training, you go into, now you're a bona fide astronaut, but you haven't flown in space yet. So they have a little pin. This is how you check.
So you know, yeah.
Yes, if the pin is silver, you haven't flown yet. If it turns to, if you have the ceremony, you've gone into space, they have a ceremony and they give you a gold pin, and that means now. And then some people's mind, you're really an astronaut once you've gone into space.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Now, what if your family from Russia didn't want you to go into space? Would that?
That would be, it's not impossible, but like, man, say you don't have your defense.
Yeah.
Say you're missing a piece. It just makes it extremely hard. Then you got to go like, hey, and this is what I tell my students, because they have some family members that, hey, they don't agree with that. Yeah, they don't agree with that. You got to not necessarily cut them off, but you got to separate yourself.
Gosh.
Damn.
It's a hard business. Huh?
It is hard business.
And how long are they out there for? Per mission?
For mission, 6 months on space station. So a lot of my buddies from the 90s, 2000, the missions for the shuttle were about 2 weeks or a week up in space, and that was it. But now it's harder. And if you're going to go to Mars, if you're going to go to that place with a lot of red dirt, minimum 2 years to 3 years away from family.
No
Are
shot.
there humans on the way to Mars already?
No.
Not yet?
But we're training for it. We have people on campus living for about 45 days isolated from their families. We call them analog astronauts. To see
So there's full-on training going on right now, like right here.
yes.
What this like? This crazy to me. Like actually.
Here's a random one too. This is off the subject. What about? It's a totally stupid question, but what are your thoughts about aliens?
We're still looking, man.
Do you believe it?
I think there is a good chance
Do you really?
because we're finding planets similar to ours in a solar system,
Yeah.
and that we call it the Goldilocks area, that it's the right temperature. And we found Earth-like planets.
Sheesh.
And just think about it. There is billions of stars that each have a solar system. And then there's galaxies. We're part of the Milky Way. There's several galaxies. So just by sheer numbers.
It should be, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yes,
People say they
but
see him. That's why I'm like, you would know more than.
Stephen, are we allowed to say those?
Come
Oh,
on now. Come on. You guys have one in here? What's going on?
that's crazy. Dude, that's insane.
He's probably speaking Swedish right now.
Right. That's crazy. Okay.
Do astronauts make a lot of money? Like, what's the average salary?
No.
You know something.
No, they
For
don't make a
sure.
lot of money,
For
and
sure, yeah,
I
I'm
think
telling
it
you.
was just like the last,
telling
and
you
this
for
is
sure.
old information. It would be their military pay if they're a military astronaut, or it would just be like a typical household single income. So that could be like I don't know. I don't want to give you the wrong numbers on that, but it's not a lot of money. In fact, there's more.
Figures?
Maybe.
Wait, for what, Jay? What was the question?
Astronaut salary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They say they don't make a lot of money. It's like being in the military.
Yeah. Now where they can make money is when they leave the astronaut corps.
Go write a book or something.
Yeah. I remember my neighbor Ed Lou down the way. He went up one time, and then he went on the board over at Google, and then he has his own space company.
Yeah.
So
Sick.
now, yeah. Yes.
So, if you had, like, how many a year goes to space on missions? Like, how many people in general? Is that a hard number to say?
It depends. Right now, we're having more people than ever going into space between the private astronauts and with missions to the ISS. So I think we send astronauts staggered every 3 months. So you have a crew up there that stays up there 6 months, and then we have another crew, and then they're replaced by another crew.
I see.
So it's constantly rotating. Plus, we have private astronauts that people will pay.
Private astronauts, so they'll just pay for to basically go up there?
Yes.
Like billionaires.
We have the billionaires, but countries that can't necessarily afford a bona fide space program, like for instance, Turkey, India, Hungary, they just sent astronauts this year and last year up there. So Ax4, a company called Axiom.
On the IP.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, so
Crazy. Okay, yeah. Let's.
now, really quickly about this rocket. This one flew into space twice. It was to prove to NASA that it could fly cargo safely and ultimately astronauts.
This one right here was in space.
This one was in space. It's called a
what?
Falcon 9.
Are you fucking
It
kidding me?
lands by itself, right?
Yes.
Oh, this is SpaceX
Vertically.
one. How the fuck did it already get that? 'Cause I know, you know, like, you know what I'm saying?
And you see those legs? These are
This
legs.
shit has literally been on the moon.
This is the one that lands by itself.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
Not in the ocean. It can land on a platform.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
And these, are you familiar with, how many of y'all played music in school?
Wow.
Anybody played music?
It's literally music,
okay,
yeah,
so you
yeah.
have that tripod stand. You remember we had that sort of thing? This folds out just like the tripod, just like for your camera. And
Just
it comes
lands.
out. Yeah, they made it really simple. Comes out.
But this wasn't too long ago. I remember seeing it when it happened.
Yes, this is 2017. Now,
I was about to say, yeah.
They had, it was like a truck driving. There was one that was like, I want to say it was in LA. Maybe it wasn't this, but it was literally, they were driving it on this huge ass.
yeah, you know what? Probably it was because
Yeah.
Elon has his place in Hawthorne, California.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
I know much. Yeah.
yes.
It was like,
I remember seeing
Down
some
the
shit too.
street.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just going. Yeah.
lastly, when they're taking this huge 747, how many fighter jets, or do they have any fighter jets that are like
Around it?
Around it, yeah.
Okay, so remember the Gulfstream?
Yeah.
So we have the Gulfstream that will fly ahead to make sure about the weather, to make sure there's no turbulence because the shuttle is very fragile, so no flying in any rain.
Yeah.
Those are ceramic tiles. Strong in some ways, but fragile in other ways. So
Yeah.
even raindrops could cause a problem with it.
Wow.
But that's a good question. But speaking of fighter jets, you notice the two jets when you came into the
That's
Space Center this
interesting.
morning,
Wow.
those are called T-38s. They're trainers, but they're supersonic trainers to get the Air Force ready to fly fighters, cargo airplanes. It's a high performance plane. If you're selected as an American astronaut, you get rights to the T-38 the whole time you're an astronaut. And if you're not a pilot, they'll train you how to fly that. And most of us, they're not from Houston. So you fly home. Can you imagine going home?
Wow.
Can you imagine flying to Austin in the T-38?
Yeah, that's sick.
Hey, I'll be there in less than an hour.
Right.
Do you have to clear like the airway, I guess you would say, when something like this is flying? Like, do all planes have to
Yeah.
stand down just to make sure there's
Yes.
nobody in the air?
Yes. So you file what's called a flight plan, and this is a lot of planning. I had a friend of mine that he'd fly 747. He trained the astronauts in the T-38, and then he did the flight planning for the Gulfstream to pick up our astronauts that they landed on in Russia. And it takes a lot of planning with the FAA, which is our aviation, to say, hey, we have this airplane flying, and they'll clear out an area for
I
us.
want to go to space, bro. I'm fucking
So-
fucking
Like delay
space.
flights because this is coming in. Like,
No, but they plan way ahead, so they're not going to do that.
Gotcha.
We're going in here?
Oh, I'm like 6'7", so I'm gonna hit my head. Gotta duck, gotta duck, gotta duck.
Okay, how's our time? 9:35. Do you want to go up to the top?
Let's do it. Let's do it. It's very interesting, this whole field to me.
Yes.
Like very, because it's like a field that I don't really know a lot about, but
There's
You
something,
know.
a little something for everybody. There's so
Yeah.
many different disciplines.
Yeah.
There's even economists here. So I found that out. I go, so what do you do here? One of my friends, she goes, yeah, we control the budget and project how much we're going to spend for our space program. So you need the finance people.
Yeah.
The stars at the Johnson Space Center are the engineers. The engineers and the astronauts, that's what people talk about for this location.
has there ever been a accident that has happened going up to space? Like,
Yes.
really?
A bunch.
Any, really?
So in 1967, we had our very first space tragedy. About 3 weeks before they're supposed to fly into space, we did a high fidelity simulation where we had astronauts in the capsule over at the Kennedy Space Center. and we had the mission controllers here in Houston. A fire inside the capsule stopped the simulation, and we lost all 3 astronauts. That was in '67.
Damn.
And then 1986, and this one hits closer to home for me, because I was in school, and I'm schooling here in Houston,
Yeah.
and this is probably our most famous shuttle mission. We had a school teacher by the name of Kristen McCullough. She's going to be the very first school teacher to fly in space. It was our most publicized mission. 1986, the shuttle goes up, it blows up.
No, like fully just blows up.
Yes. And we were delayed about 2 years. 2 of my classmates' parents were on board that shuttle.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Janelle Onizuka, her dad, Dr. Onizuka, was on board, and then one of the pilots, Mike Smith,
Damn.
was on the shuttle.
Rest
So
in
that
peace, man.
one hits home close. And then when I first started here, 15 minutes coming in, we had, and I just saw this crew. I'm just started at Space Center Houston, and I saw the crew, and I said, man, I'll get their autographs when they come back home. They're only going to be there 2 weeks, and 15 minutes away from home, the shuttle broke up.
On the way in.
On the way in.
You're
Literally
kidding.
over Texas and Louisiana. So they were literally
They were like right
there.
here.
Yeah.
Wow. So why like do we know why that happened?
Yes. Well, the first one was a faulty wiring, and then we were rushing. We were trying to beat the Soviet Union, the Russians, and we used pure oxygen and to save on weight. Plus, there were a lot of materials that weren't fire retardant. We just want to get it done. And you know, when you rush, you make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is this is where, again, we knew there were some problems with extreme cold with the shuttle, but we never thought Florida would get below 40 degrees. It was freezing, so it caused a malfunction with the O-ring. O-ring leaked and sent the hot fire into the external fuel tank, which caused it to blow up.
What are the odds of that? Like that day? Like you know.
I know.
Like that's yeah.
There are some things, but again, there were some things that we could have probably changed, and we learned from each one of these mistakes.
Yeah.
And the last one was the foam from the external fuel tank hit the leading edge of the shuttle. I'll show you. You see this gray area? That's a material called RCC. It's reinforced carbon-carbon. It's the toughest material. It's a composite. We never thought that a piece of foam would cause any damage. Well, this foam was frozen about the size of a suitcase, hit that leading edge, caused a big hole. When the orbiter comes back home, it's generating a lot of heat. All right, that's why they come in at an angle, to help reduce the speed. But it's still really hot. We're talking about 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and it peaked maybe around 5,000 degrees. It got into that hole, caused the shuttle to start turning. The wing broke off, it turned to its side, and that was it. So each one of these things, they were really bad, but it made us better. And we're still getting better. And it shows you really, this is not an easy industry. But I think by opening it up to the commercial sector, we're gonna have more ideas.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you learn from mistakes, you know.
Yes. Okay,
Thanks
this
so much
is
for the 20 to appreciate
this is
it.
Leland Melvin. Leland is the only NASA astronaut that was an NFL player.
Wow.
Then he, once he retired from the astronaut group, he became head of NASA education. This is Joe. Joe just recently, about a month ago, relinquished. He was our lead astronaut from all the astronauts. He started as a school teacher, became one of those educator astronauts.
He just looks like an astronaut. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Background Puerto Rico, lived in LA and then taught in Miami. And he's an engineer and a Marine. I mean,
Sick.
these guys have a rap sheet that is big. This is Tony Antonelli. I just saw Tony earlier this year. He has a master's in aerospace engineering, test pilot for the U.S. Navy, also flew in the Air Force. I mean, these guys are rock stars.
Insane.
And this is the cockpit they used to fly. This is how it looked in 2000. 2000, we made an upgrade to the shuttle.
Top plane or in the carrier?
We're on the shuttle.
Oh, we're in the shuttle.
Yeah.
So this is the shuttle right here.
Yeah.
Damn. We can't go in there, huh?
No, but there's some other ones. How is our time?
Like it's bigger than it's bigger than I thought, bro. Jay, I'm not gonna- this shit is interesting.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
crazy interesting. I don't know what I should. This is
Okay, perfect. Okay, do you see that gold cradle?
Yeah.
Yes.
That is the actual flown cradle that took the Hubble telescope. Right now, it's depicting a huge intact satellite. So everybody knows what the Hubble is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Actually, I don't. I'm lying.
okay, so the Hubble was a space-based telescope. You see, there's a picture of it right down there. And,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
And-
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
yes. Now we have a bigger telescope. One 7 times larger, and it can see 10 times further, called the James Webb. And unlike the Hubble, which hangs around the Earth in orbit, James Webb stands about 1 million miles away, and it's even more. And so the pictures are from, you think the Hubble's pictures are crazy. Man, you probably see an alien waving at you with the James Webb. It's about the size of a tennis court.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay.
This is so cool, man.
Yeah, no, it is. Like, it's actually.
There is so
very-
much to see.
So interesting.
And this gives you a good view of the NASA campus. We're going to head over there.
Oh, we're gonna head over to the NASA campus?
Yes, we're going to go to
Oh my
Rocket Park.
God, that's so sick. And that's where the trainees are, the students are right now?
Yes, where the astronauts, yeah.
And they're like isolated, or is there any chance to meet them? Or that's not possible?
They're too busy.
Okay, yeah.
And
I
then
understand that, yeah.
they have a special media request. So they are assigned folks that take care of them. So you
So
have,
do they have like access to? You said they're like isolated. Do they have access to their phone, stuff like that, or they completely?
yeah, they live in the area. So I wouldn't say it's 9 to 5, but they find
Right.
a house here,
Okay.
and this is the living quarters of the shuttle. This is the airlock. Airlock is where we get ready to do a spacewalk. And
That's when
a-
they go out in space.
Yeah, and you see the suit is a little bit different. It's all white.
But this is like a real suit.
Yes, it's very similar to the suit that we use today.
And is this what is this round thing for right here? Is
Okay,
just
so this is where you would dock it to the ISS, the International Space Station. This is what we call airlock, and so both parts have to mate, and they also are pressurized, so that it's an atmosphere just like what we're living in right now.
I see. Huh. Not like it really is.
Okay,
It really, really
I want to
is.
show you before we head out inside. I
Oh,
want to
yeah,
show you
let's
the
do it.
past. Because you got to start somewhere, right?
Of course.
I want to show you the origin story, is what we would say today.
Like what started it? Type
What
of thing?
started it. And you can, so when I was a kid, and the visitor center was over there, they showed the Chinese fireworks. It was the original start. They came up with fireworks. Did you all know that?
I did not know that. No.
Yeah.
Today, yeah.
Okay, and that led to gunpowder, which led to a weapon, but initially that's the idea of the rocket. And then we had some folks in the 1800s, early 1900s that came up with a theory we could actually fly a rocket to space.
So that's how it started.
That's how it started. And in the 1920s, you had a guy by the name of Robert Goddard here in the United States that got some financial backing on the East Coast, built the very first liquid power rocket. And he flew it in New Mexico. Of all places in New Mexico, a place called Roswell.
Why New Mexico?
It was far away from people. Just because, remember, rockets have a tendency, if they
Lot
don't
of power,
work,
yeah.
yes, they blow up. And it barely got up. But he was telling people, this is going to carry us to the moon. So just imagine in the 1920s, we're going to go to the moon. And we barely got the airplane. So people are going like, why are we spending money on this?
Hey.
And
Oh,
then
we
if
got
you
Earth.
look at the
We got Earth.
1930s, Oh, you see the you'll see a lot of animals too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's a wildlife preserve. Yes. There's deer,
Deer, that's amazing.
alligators.
Wait, out here?
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
What?
It's kind of, I mean, it's semi-tropical, so we get a lot, and NASA protects them. We have a park ranger that tracks the animals. In fact, one of my top students works on Air Force One. I noticed you mentioned that. I'm sure he'd be really happy to hear somebody mention this airplane.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He's all about Boeings.
Boeing 474. I just literally made that up.
Okay. So this is
Oh,
Goddard's.
this is sick, space.
Okay, this is Goddard's thing. And you know, the New York Times made fun of him.
This the one right here.
This is it. So just imagine, he goes, this is the beginning of us going to the moon. So imagine that. And so the American public didn't take it. But over in Germany, they had this guy who had a team of people working on rockets. His name is Werner von Braun. And Werner worked on the wrong side of the war in World War II, but later immigrated to the United States and helped start our NASA program. You've ever heard of Werner? Werner, he designed all the rockets that we're about to see at Rocket Park. And this is where this idea of the German scientists, because he brought his best team. Talk about a team. He had a specialist for the engine, specialist for the guidance. He had a whole team. And the other thing with Werner, unlike Goddard, he was very good with people and also selling the program. And a lot of people didn't realize Werner's one of his good friends in the 50s was Walt Disney.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, so you see that connection.
That's some very successful people right there. Jeez.
Okay, this is him right here. This is Werner.
Man, what?
And he's holding up a satellite with James Van Allen. If you've heard the Van Allen magnetic belt, it's named after this scientist. That's what protects us from radiation. And William Pickering. So you have two scientists and an engineer. But what was significant about this was America's very first satellite. Nobody remembers it. You know why? Because we only remember number one. And number one was Russia with Sputnik. Okay. Now with every space program or anything that you do, you got to have a good leader. This was our selling point for space. In 1962, we had President Kennedy go over to Rice University, which is just downtown Houston, talk on that field and say, why go to the moon?
And he was talking for it?
Yes. And so he asked the question. He goes, we do things not because they're easy, we do them because they're hard. Yeah. You've heard of that speech. He mentioned Lord Mallory lost his life trying to climb Mount Everest. Why? Because it was there. And then he knew his audience. The Rice Owls, they're very smart students. That's what they sell. The big rival is the University of Texas. And he asked, why does Rice play Texas? And the crowd goes crazy. And then he finishes up his speech, and he says it several times. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We call that today the moonshot. It's one of his best speeches, and if you look around, you can actually see his notes. This is the actual podium.
Wait, what? This is it right here where he stood?
Yeah, this is it.
How do I even get stuff like this? Like, what? So John F. Kennedy stood right here.
Unfortunately for President Kennedy, his next stop from Houston was Dallas, and that's the fatal. Yes.
How many days after?
I think it was less than a week.
Less than a week after.
Yes.
He is killed.
But we continued by the end of the decade.
Noticing.
That's true.
I actually didn't
You
noticing.
know, so this is an actual flown capsule.
Boy.
It was part of our first program called Mercury. Gordon Cooper is the last person. This is his capsule. Last person to fly alone into space. The first American was Alan Shepard.
Imagine you're in
And this one right here.
Yes.
All alone.
Yeah, you see how tight it is?
And how long was he in there for?
Oh, just a couple of hours.
Oh, okay.
That's still crazy. 3 inches of material.
Fuck me, dude.
Yes. And especially coming back. So he broke the record for flying in space when he was in Mercury. But the initial flight was less than 15 minutes.
Oh my God, dude. So he just went up there and came back pretty much.
Yeah, but he did a couple of orbits, but our first American just went up and came back. Yes. before the internet, that was even known, man.
How big was he? Was he like a little guy, big? He can't be that damn big.
No, I think they're all about my
Gotta be
height.
Yes, five.
But there's astronauts, like we have Bernard Harris, who went to my university. Red Raider, he was one of our tallest at about 6'3". And then we had Dr. Scott Perzinski, who's about the same size, but he has a longer wingspan, so we call him nickname Too Tall.
Too tall? Almost my size, like 6'6".
I think we have an astronaut about your height too, man.
So what is there a height limit, weight limit? Like you said, you gotta be in shape,
height
right?
and weight proportion.
Height, weight proportion.
Yes. Okay, so this is the last capsule that went to the moon, 1972. The voice in the background is Eugene Cernan. He's the last man to set foot on the moon. He hated that title. He wanted to see in his lifetime somebody else doing it again. We're going back to the moon next year. Did you all know that?
No, wait. So this is the last person to step on the moon?
Yes.
And we're doing it next year?
Yeah, we're going to fly around it. It was called Artemis 2. Then Artemis 3, we're going to have boots on the ground, which is going to be about a year to 2 years later.
Has anyone been decided for that yet or not yet? Because that would be a historical moment.
Yes.
Right.
So for this next mission, that crew has already been set for February. We got Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen. And Jeremy is kind of unique. He's not an American, he's Canadian, and this is his first mission into space, and he's going to the moon.
What? This exact pod was on the moon?
Oh, it orbited. So we had the lunar lander that would take you down to the surface. Yeah, but this is what takes you there. You go down the lunar lander, and this is your ride back.
So why haven't we gone back in about 50 years almost?
You know what? That's a very good question.
Do we know? Is it just too risky? Like we didn't have enough?
Yes, that is a part. Risky, expensive, and purpose. Well, our purpose was to beat the Soviet Union. We did that in the 70s. Now we're going back for science and possible commerce. There's a payday at the end of the day. And by just trying to go, we develop a lot of technology. That's right. So, for instance, look at the camera. That was their GoPro. That's their DJI back in the day.
Absolute shit. I have a better camera right now.
Okay. By doing that, we were forced to miniaturize electronics. It made us better. So we found out, it's funny, we go to the moon, but we find out more about ourselves. So by going to the moon and building the shuttle, we developed two technologies that weren't in the medical field. They were just for navigation. That was the MRI and CAT scan.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that is among thousands of other things. By doing something that is very difficult, that has never been done before, pushes you and pushes us to limits that only outside of war you could do. Yeah.
So
for every dollar that we put into NASA, we made about $10 back in the things that we found. This is why other countries are getting a space program. So that answers your question on that end.
Okay.
So there's a financial benefit, but there's also a growth of us.
Because you don't think we would push ourselves to our maximum
We would.
capacity?
It would happen, but it would take a lot longer.
Yeah.
And it would probably take a war, because war is what helps develop really fast. But going to space, having a very difficult goal, is now going to push you. And
So-
not just in an individual, but a whole country, if not the whole world, on that end.
So what do you say to the people that say that the moon landings are fake? That it never happened.
You know what?
It's all made
It's
up.
kind of like you want to know possibly why.
Yeah.
Where they're coming from, why they're saying that, because the technology was so rudimentary back then, it would be very difficult to fake. Today's world, we have Photoshop.
That's not a bad point.
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest.
This is the most high secure spot. It's Steven's favorite area.
What is this? Touch them.
You can
Shut
actually
up.
touch a
Shut
moon
up.
rock.
Shut up.
This is one of the few places in the world there's a camera that
This is from the moon.
This is from the moon.
Why does it look
Thanks, Steven, for carrying us here.
You fucking lying.
Yeah, I'm not done.
Yo, can you let me rub it?
And all these samples,
Alright.
these are all real moon rocks. They're sealed in nitrogen so they don't oxidize. They don't get contaminated by our.
It's an astronaut. Like actually,
Okay.
like we walking on the beach. He was walking.
Very,
on the
very
moon,
similar.
grabbed
This
his
is
feet,
it.
said, "I'm
So you
just
have
gonna get
oxygen,
this
you have
back
calcium, magnesium, iron. But take a look. There's one missing ingredient.
Like, does
And
it
that's,
smell like aliens?
Carbon.
Smells like
And we
a lot of
believe
food.
carbon is the building blocks
Yeah, exactly.
for.
Thank you so much. So what I wanted to ask you was, say you want to pay to go to space, right? Like you said, like the
Yes.
private whatever. What is the? Because I know, like you said, some people stayed for 6 months up there, astronauts, whatever. What's the fastest? You want to sit over here?
What's the fastest?
What's the fastest way you can go there and come back, if that makes sense?
Okay, so there's a couple of ways. You want to go to space. There's a company called Blue Origin, led by Jeff Bezos, and they're out of Van Horn, Texas, and they take you up. Suborbital means that you don't go a full orbit, but you get into that space by breaking the official line, which is about 62 miles. That is the quickest you can get into space right now.
How long's that flight?
How long would that take all in all?
I think it's
Please remain seated at all times while the
you
tram
would
is in
be
motion. Please keep
there.
your arms
I think it's just a
flanked.
couple
Please
minutes of
enter
floating,
any objects safely
And that's it.
and then you
inside
come back
of the
down.
vehicle.
It's about
Right.
like the whole thing about an hour or 2 hours.
All right,
Dude.
sir, whenever
You just
you're
have to know
ready,
Jeff
you're
Bezos.
all clear.
I think it's around 400,000.
That doesn't seem.
Please
That's a lot of
400,
money.
400
That doesn't
to like 4.3 million. It's right in that ballpark.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
But if you get a sponsorship, it's not too bad. So we've had school teachers that have gone up there, scientists.
Wow.
So people that know, and then of course, very wealthy people.
My dad studied aerospace at UT also.
That's one of the best schools for
Okay,
it.
did he actually?
He worked at NASA. He worked here for about a year, and then he
Oh,
left. And,
what? I didn't
worked
know
for
that.
Apple for the rest of his career, but yeah, my dad literally worked here.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
That's insane.
Yeah, my dad, how I'm here is because my dad worked over at UTMB. He was the medical director.
So your dad was, so it kind of runs in the family a little bit, you would say?
Yeah, well, yes, he didn't want me becoming a pilot or even doing this field. He wanted me to be working in a bank,
Oh,
be an
right,
attorney.
yeah,
I'm
right.
going, Dad, that's boring, and I'm not that great at writing. I go like, what are
Yeah.
you thinking?
All right.
We're gonna start at the back because that's gonna sell.
no.
We're gonna start at the very beginning, but see how massive this thing is?
Are you dead,
This is the rocket. This is would have been
What the-
Apollo 18.
Apollo 18. Dude, like, this is not real, bro. Like, look at that shit. Look at that.
Now, you're probably thinking, why is it here? This
Yeah.
one never flew into space. The program got cut.
Why did it get cut?
Money,
No, listen.
plus the only thing that comes back, remember that capsule that we saw, Apollo 17's capsule? That's the only thing that comes back. It's not reusable. So we're thinking, this is way too expensive. We need to come up with a reusable spacecraft, and ultimately the space shuttle is what stopped the Apollo program. Plus, we accomplished the mission, at least in some people's mind, beating the Russians to the moon.
Always about beating the Russians. Man.
Okay, but today,
Fucking Americans.
we worked with Russia. Did you all know that?
I did not know that, no. Actually.
So in 1998, we first put up the first component of the space station, which was made in Russia, called Zarya. And since that time, we've always had at least one Russian and one American on ISS. And we've been living like this on the International Space Station for over 25 years.
Ooh, wee.
So,
You actually work together.
yes.
Is Zarya named after that dog that got sent to space? Or is that different?
Oh, yeah, what was that? I remember that.
So Russia sent up a dog to see about a living organism that could withstand spaceflight called Laika. Okay, Laika did not
Laika.
make it back. He didn't have a heat shield. But Laika, Russia needs barker. So he was barking to make sure they heard the dog all the way down. It was pretty sad.
The dog died.
The dog
That's
died.
actually sad as shit.
Okay, but there's a bright light to it. So when Nikita Khrushchev came to the United States, he was the leader of Russia. He met with President Kennedy. He presented Laika's offspring, a puppy, to President Kennedy. So, yeah, the dog. But we sent monkeys and we sent apes, Abel Baker Ham, and they all went
I remember
up.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
And they all made it alive?
They all made it back alive.
How did they not know that a heat shield would be necessary?
How did they not kill all the astronauts?
Okay, so these were all theoretical. Just think about it.
noticing.
We know about the speed and we know about re-entry because the Germans did the V2 rocket in World War II under the leadership of von Braun. And that was the first supersonic missile to go into space. And we knew some of the properties of coming back. And what's going on, when you come back home, the friction of the air particles from the Earth heats up this vehicle so hot. So it needs a protective for the human.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
so the dog didn't have anything?
The dog didn't have...
What?
I know.
Did you just put a dog in a rocket?
Okay.
Just like, here.
We're going to go to Russia and say you did... not human rights, but animal rights. So,
right, like what? Come on now, seriously.
Back in the 50s, I mean, that was...
Fucking throw the dog, close the door on him. Like,
and notice, so the United States, we don't play by the same rules. All our animals had to come back home.
Was there a cat too? Wasn't there?
No, we didn't.
No, there was no cat.
Not that I'm aware of. Cats are kind of interesting. They had a spider.
That's what it was. Wait, what?
A spider on Skylab.
That snuck in, or?
No, they had it there. They wanted to see if the spider could make the Webb because it's in a microgravity or no gravity.
Oh,
and the spider got very frustrated, and then eventually they worked it out. So they adapted.
No way.
Yes.
Wait, so did like the web float? Or how would
Yes, so they were going like, this is not working out, it's floating everywhere. And then eventually the spider, it shows you, the spider has some amount of intelligence
So they
too.
adapted.
Yes.
Fully. That's cool as shit.
Okay,
That's crazy.
let me show you how we started because this makes it even more incredible when you see the rocket.
Holy.
Okay, so this is known as Rocket Park. It's named after George Abbey. George is the creator of what you saw, the Longhorn Project, for the educational thing. But what he's famous for is that he started as an administrator to select astronauts. So you're just asking about the astronauts.
Yeah.
And then he later became the boss of the Johnson Space Center. And under his leadership, we built the space station and had the shuttle flying. Unfortunately, we lost George last year. He was one of my good friends.
Damn, sorry about that.
This rocket is called a Mercury Redstone rocket. It was known initially...
Was that up there?
Huh?
Is this the rocket?
No, because
Okay.
a lot of these rockets, once they're used, you're not...
Yeah, they're kind of done.
They're done.
Yeah.
So it's a one-shot deal. On top of it, remember the Mercury capsule? Alan Shepard became our very first American to fly into
Yes.
space.
Yes.
Just really quick.
Honestly, I've seen yes.
And that, we barely got into space. We had a lot of problems. If you see early NASA footage, a lot of these rockets were blowing up. And then the President of the United States comes by the next year and says, we're going to go to the moon. So now you have a big challenge. Remember when we talked about the challenge? And he challenged us to be great. And this meant the whole United States. Each component of that rocket is made by a different contractor. All fierce competitors that had to work together. They all had to work together and build this thing in less than 10 years. 62 is when he made the speech. By 1968, we're flying around the moon. And now, 1969, we have Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin and Mike Collins going to the moon, and those two guys walking on the moon.
Did you guys ever have any astronauts that clashed that was like, nah, I want to do it this way, and the other one was like, nah,
Yes.
I'm a little bit smarter than you?
Yes, it's super competitive.
Yeah.
But they all had to fall in line because they know what their role is. They have to follow orders. You can't have a maverick. You can't have somebody like Top Gun doing your own thing. Astronauts are funny enough, they're always told orders on what to do by mission control. So you got to have that mindset, hey, this is not my show.
I know that's tough.
Yes, especially with these guys that were they're all experts.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But then to be a really good expert, you got to humble yourself.
Have to, yeah.
You can't be Terrell Owens.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Right, all right, all right.
You got to be the whole team. You got to be more like Patrick Mahomes.
I like that. Yeah, you're definitely a Chiefs fan. Yeah, yeah.
No, Red Raider. So.
Oh, you're a Raiders fan.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
that's
So that.
horrible.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate, man. They suck.
So.
Thank you.
best of the best. Like, I know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so Patrick Mahomes played at my university at Texas Tech. We didn't have an offensive line, so he was always scrambling against the Longhorns. The Longhorns were, I think y'all beat us really bad when Patrick was playing, but it made him better. So when he got in the NFL, it was the same story, and he had somebody like Andy Reid that allowed him to do his thing. So you got a couple of things. You got leadership, you got talent, but you got teamwork.
Got to come together, yeah.
You got to come together, those
True,
three things.
very true.
Okay, so what we're standing in front of, this is one of 5 F1 engines. They produce 1.5 million pounds of thrust.
That's a lot of thrusting. Jeez,
Okay,
dude.
the rocket weighed 6.2 million pounds.
What?
So just getting off the ground is our hardest part. Now, the engineers designed it as a multi-stage rocket to save on weight. So the first stage, once it does its job, it's dropped off, falls in the ocean, not to be reused again. That's only a pipe dream. In the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even early 2000, we never thought we could reuse that first stage. SpaceX and Blue Origin.
It's the first one, right?
Yes, that demonstrate now you brought down your cost.
Yeah, because now you can just reuse it, right?
Yes, so we've gotten better.
Wow.
Okay.
So what did Elon Musk and his, obviously everybody's working, what do you think they did different from everybody else that figured that out?
Okay, you got new ideas.
Yeah.
You're not doing it the same old way. And why does it have to be expensive? How can we bring down the cost? So you're getting new ideas.
Yeah.
And this is why when you open up that commercial market, it's going to bring down that cost. We did this in aviation. So we invented the airplane in 1903. Right? Orville and Wilbur Wright, we all learned that.
Yeah.
But did you know in the very First World War, the United States, we didn't have an airplane. We had to buy it from the British and the French. The leader in the United States at that time goes, hey, we're never doing this again like that. We're going to open up the commercial market. They built airplanes that flew higher, went faster, and flew longer. Why? Now you got more people, more ideas. Yeah. Sharing ideas is the key. And this is what makes the United States very unique. We have all these different states. If we all work together, we come up with something a little bit different. Now you can export that thinking worldwide. We're working with Russia, we're working with the Europeans, we're working with Japan, and now we've even gotten better. So we have a better, bigger team.
Wow. Again, team, you know?
Team, but you gotta have the leadership. If you don't have the leadership, you can have the best scientists, the best engineers, but your rocket's not gonna get off the ground. You're not gonna get to Mars. And so where does that come from? You gotta sell that program, you gotta have the inspiration. And so Elon has a little bit of that. That's what I think is unique about him.
Leadership.
He has that following that gets people excited about stuff. If you're not excited, is it going to happen? Probably not.
Yeah.
Okay, so
how open now are other countries to helping all the other countries on figuring this out?
Okay.
Are they more so open now? Or are they pretty much like, nah, I still want to be the first one to?
This is where now, because everybody's kind of looking, each country's looking at more of themselves rather than collaborate. Yeah. There's a kind of a shift. But we all know to keep the costs down, it's best that we work together. And that's the selling point. And it's going to be, then you got to sell the benefits. Just like I had to tell you about what's the benefit of going into space. Yeah. Why would it be good for a country in Africa to send astronauts up there and they're barely struggling to have their economy going? Well, if you can make things for the space program, now you've changed the ball game.
Yeah, now you're profiting instead, huh?
Yes. So this is where you need people, all sorts of different talents, not just rocket scientists, because these guys, they speak on a different level and people now understand what they're trying to achieve. Yeah. You got to have the person to sell the story, where we're going to go.
What is the cost of building a rocket?
We're talking billions of dollars.
Oh my God.
At least during that time period. But Elon, Jeff Bezos, and a lot of these new companies, they're bringing that cost down into fractions of what we spent before.
Really? And it's reusable.
And it's reusable.
Wow.
Okay, so you gotta plant that seed. Okay.
We should avoid these groups.
Yes.
You're definitely gonna right.
Okay, so we're gonna go, when we get to the middle, we'll
to the right,
head to the
yeah.
right.
So what's the progress on going to Mars?
We're working on that.
Yeah?
That's why we have people locked up for 45 days as an analog astronaut, even with radio delays. So it takes 20 minutes for a radio signal to get to Mars. So just imagine sending a
It's a
text
real-life
message.
fucking bad bit
Why?
rate.
Why? You can just go, oh, I want to bring that back, man. I mean, it's very challenging. So more than technology, I think we're the weakest link.
How long does light take to get to Mars?
I don't know that. But I would like us to travel at the speed of light, because right now we're going way too slow to go anywhere.
Can
Yeah.
our bodies handle that?
We're working on that also.
Probably
So
a lot of stuff
there's
y'all
people
working on
studying
now
it.
that we don't really know about.
So speed of sound we can withstand.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many G's
Yes.
until the human body just
Okay.
blows up?
Okay. So you got positive and you got negative G's. All right. So a positive G would be something like on a roller coaster, and it's taking that loop, and that's what keeps you in the seat so you don't fall out.
Yeah.
Negative G is when you're on that ride that pushes over. You know, when you go over the top and you want to fly out. We can't take as many negative G's as positive G's. So,
These are negative because it's against.
well, no, it's going to be positive because it's pushing you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Going into your seat.
Yes.
Got it.
Kind of like when you're on the freeway and you have that friend that's driving crazy. That's throwing you
Yeah.
back in the seat. That's a
G-force, right? Yeah.
okay. Just means one gravity. So
Yeah.
2 G's, 2 gravities.
Yeah, I know that, yep.
And then 3 G's, that is 3
G
gravities,
spot,
and
yeah.
that's a bank in a 60-degree bank on an airplane. About 2 to 3 G's. And now fighter pilots pull in excess of 7 plus G's. This is where you're running into a problem.
Is it exponential, the G's?
I don't know that. But some of these test pilots, they can go in excess of 19 G's momentarily.
goodness.
But you train your body. This is not like, oh, I jump out of bed. This is something that you have to build up to do. Yes. And then we have a special G suit. And what's going on is that it'll have constrictions on your lower body, so it prevents the blood from leaving your head.
That's
This is why you have the blackout with a G-force. Now, the negative G's, you get a red out, meaning that you get all the blood going straight to your brain. So it's
that
all
must
red.
be horrible. Oh,
no, yeah,
God.
just thinking about it gives me a headache.
yeah. Jeez.
Crazy. It's so weird how thinking about that. Like that seems so simple.
Okay, but how we would do it if we're doing the speed of light, we'd gradually pick up the speed. Kind of like when you get on the freeway, you're driving 100, but it doesn't feel like it because the car and
Yeah.
you are moving the same speed.
Interesting.
So if you went 0 to speed of light in 0.1 second,
You're dead.
it's dust.
Yes,
Yeah.
but if you gradually do it. There's an astronaut by the name of Dr. Franklin Chang Diaz that's working on the Vasmir that's going to be about 3 times faster than a rocket like this or more. And the problem is not so much the speed, it's slowing down. So when we get to Mars, you have to turn around the spacecraft to help slow it down. So we're getting better.
It's crazy.
And he was thinking about doing this from the early 2000s. So by going to Mars, it's going to happen. If it's not his spacecraft, there's going to be another
Something,
spacecraft.
yeah.
So don't always just think of the mindset. It's hard for me to think, well, this is 2025. Things are always going to be like 2025. No. If we progress, we're going to have to get what? We're going to have to get better.
Yeah.
That 45 days, is that that's at our current max speed, is that the time it would take to reach Mars, or is it exceedingly way more than
I think it's what they're doing is a test. So they're having 45 days for humans isolated from their families with a radio delays and making sure, have them perform tasks and seeing how well they work together and not go crazy or something negative happen on that end. And what's the optimal? And so they're picking people that have backgrounds similar to astronauts now. So they want to have
What's
them.
background similar to astronaut really means?
So
though?
so have a science, technology
Something
background.
like, okay, got you, yeah.
And then
potentially military? Because that's a lot of isolation.
yes.
Survival.
Yeah, so we have a program called SHOP at NASA that talks about high performance teams, and it's teams that train Navy SEALs, world-class cyclists, soccer teams, and all these guys have to have about the same mindset. I was going, this is phenomenal. I was an athlete when I was younger, in college.
You play football?
No.
Soccer?
I was a track and field guy.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I wanted to do soccer, but the coach said no.
Really?
Yeah, ban it, yeah. But this city is a big sports town.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Very competitive.
Houston Red Rockets.
In every sport. Even ice skating. We have a speed skater, Hendricks, that won the gold medal.
Hendricks.
Yeah, and then we had Tara Lipinski that won and then of course we have Simone Biles in gymnastics.
Oh, she's from here?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Houston, man, this place, yes. But it's also we have the coaching too. That makes a big difference. When I was a kid, as a runner, you look for the schools that have good coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Texas Tech. The coaching wasn't it's not as good as it is now. UT had a really good coach. Arkansas had a really good coach in those sports. So that's that leadership thing again.
Back to leadership. Amazing. That's crazy.
Wait, so how long would a Mars trip take one way?
About 7 to 10 months.
God.
And then you have to, this is the thing, you have to wait for the planets, to where the Earth and Mars are set up. They're constantly orbiting. So you have to wait for that 2 years where they're close together. Yes. So there's a lot of things to think about.
So then on the way back, you're gonna wait another 2 years?
Yes.
Goddamn, you'll miss LeBron retiring, you'll miss shit. Like, dude, you're just away from, you're gone. Poof.
I couldn't do it. I wouldn't pass the most basic mental check. They just put me alone in like a room for an hour and I'd go crazy.
But you train they train your brain,
course,
man. Yeah, man.
It takes a special type of person.
Yes. It's kind of mentally strong, but how do you do that? Are people always mentally strong? No.
No, you train yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
You get accustomed to any circumstance.
Doesn't make it
so
feel
insane.
good though.
I know. If we can find a way to go faster.
What did they do during when they just end the
like astronauts?
Yeah, like what do they do daily? Like they just fly, yeah.
A lot of them are musicians. So we had an astronaut rock and roll band led by the Canadian Chris Hatfield for a long time called Max Q. Quite a few are athletes themselves.
Yeah, but like, what would they do with that though? Like when they're up there, you know?
During the running,
Yeah,
running. 2 astronauts from my running club, and they like to do running, and one of them liked running more than flying the T-30. I go, man, I wish I could switch roles. I'd like to fly that plane.
Yeah.
Can they watch movies?
They can watch movies
they
when they're in
can?
space, yeah.
Okay, I'll just take every movie.
Yeah.
But we work you when you get in space. Like their time is planned out every 5 minutes. You're busy. You're not up there just to have a good time. You're there to do research and science.
And like for the lunar landings and stuff, it wasn't a lot of time in the air.
No.
You're just
The maximum was 2 weeks, and most of them were much less than that.
you're working the whole time.
You're working the whole time. And everything is analog, so there's no computer calculating these things. People are doing it. This is Alan Shepard getting ready for
From the moon?
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Yeah, so my friend that went to aircraft mechanics school, he
got
was
a suit on the
65.
moon? Are you
He
fucking
controlled this mission. But the mission that he was most famous for was Apollo Soyuz. This was our first international mission during the peak of the Cold War, where we had leftover Apollo parts. The Russians had a Soyuz lying around. We go, hey, why not we link up in space? And that really started that international partnership. And I noticed when I read his memoirs, the hardest part was dealing culturally with Russia. So these Russians would come here, they're late to work every day. They go out and party and they smoke and they're drinking. And then it's almost like it's so different from how the NASA culture was. And so just putting those two things together was a challenge. And today, man, we share a little bit of each. Every American has to learn Russian fluently if they're going on space station.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
So that means it's not just the language. You got to know about the food. You got to know about the people. The whole
Oh yeah,
nine
and
yards.
everything. Yeah, it's a whole goddamn
And they're
culture.
learning English as well.
Yeah. So the official language is English, but for safety, if you yell out fire in Russian, I know exactly what you're going to be saying. And that's why it's important that we know each other's and we communicate. So communications are really, so talk about a team. So they
Talk
build
about
a
a team for sure.
They'll get you, and your families will get together. So they set that stage.
So you was talking about the family, like kind of have to be on board almost. Well, not have to, but like, you know, you want to have your family as a team. But what, like, how important is that? Like, why is that really super important? Is it just because of the support system around you?
I believe it's the support.
The support system that like make us, yes, you know,
Yes.
okay.
Who are you going to talk to when you come
Right,
home?
yeah.
Who are you going to debrief?
Yeah.
But what are you looking for?
Yes.
So it's not classified evidence, like classified information. You know, this is government stuff, so you can't tell everything.
Okay, but NASA is a civilian agency. That's what makes us different from the U.S. military. That makes us different from Space Force. So a lot of the information that we have is open to the public. Now, is it easy to find? Have you ever been to the NASA website? I've been onto it a couple of times. You can never go to the same place twice. It's not that easy on there.
Yeah.
But you know, going back to the people part, we have a whole building 13 dedicated for the human factor. And that is anything from colors inside the interior of the spacecraft to the seating to how people relate. You know, and here's some quick tidbits, like Russia was really good. A lot of the airplanes you see those young ladies' shirts? They're about the color of those shirts. So every fighter airplane, every cargo airplane is painted that color inside the aircraft. Why? Blue, we know, is calming. And so if you notice on your latest airliners, they have the blue light.
Wow,
You
so
notice that?
I did not notice that.
So next time you jump on the airplane, notice what light they're using. It's calming.
Interesting.
Okay.
I got one important question.
Yes.
Has there ever been a romantic
Engagement in space?
engagement in space?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
We've had a husband-wife up, yeah.
That's gotta take that suit off to do that.
But you can take the suit off. In the
But there's definitely been built bonds for sure. And then they come down and they start dating.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
That's my language now. I'm talking my language, you know?
Has anyone ever died in space? Like not from a tragedy, from just like I don't
Not
know,
the-
a
no.
heart attack or something? I don't know.
No, and it's because so you're selected as astronaut. Immediately, we assign a flight surgeon to you. And what that means is that you're assigned a
do you mean,
medical
of course?
doctor
Fuck
to
yeah.
make sure
Is there
about
a
your
doctor
health.
up there?
They're always around you, but then they don't fly with you. Now, some of these doctors, some of them have become astronauts.
Like if your appendix bursts on the International Space Station.
How do you deal with that? We had that
Different.
problem with scientists isolated in Antarctica. And in some ways, Antarctica was harder than ISS. ISS is too, she had to perform her own surgery.
No.
What? And
Okay.
and she survived?
And she survived.
Oh my God. now she's
Okay,
a dog.
so the astronauts,
That's
we have a
insane.
contingency plan that they are trained a certain way, kind of like an EMT, to solve those sort of problems. We think of everything. In fact, I even asked the flight surgeon, what if somebody mentally is having a breakdown? What are you going to do with that? And they already have a game plan for that, too.
Just medicate them or something.
So like there's so no, but you can't. It's like all like it's just all like I don't know. I feel like you got to have every single corner of
Yeah, so we think about
info.
everything.
Like yeah, like
But you can do that in life, and there's still something that nobody ever thought of that
yeah,
happens.
of course, yeah. Jeez.
Wait, if you like, if I cut my arm off in space, will it even bleed?
Yes,
because there's outward
Oh, because
pressure.
you're pumping, yeah.
yes.
Okay, yeah.
And it's bad because anytime, any pressure system, that's another propulsion system. So, I mean, that's,
So you're moving like this.
that is not a good thing to think
Blood
about.
just flowing.
Now, my question is like, why'd you cut off your arm? You messed up the mission, man. We were doing so good until you cut off your arm.
That means any cut that goes through an artery
Yes.
is going to propel you around.
But I mean, people got to be like. I mean, they still like they got to be sick up there. They still
Yes.
live like, you
So
know.
we isolate them so they don't get bugs from here to take up there. Yeah.
They get sick. Is there germs up there?
Your immune system goes down.
Oh.
And we try to keep the space station clean, but I mean, there's,
It's so sterile.
yes.
It's actually worse up there because the G-force 745 substitutes all the air contractions.
From what I heard, it's
So kind of
shorter.
germs kind of
They
do
give
not
them
flow
8
around.
hours. Some of the astronauts
Equalize that with
adapt
6,
really
7,
well,
everything.
and they don't need as much rest because you have no pressure points. And others, like my friend Michael Baker,
Yeah, they must.
Mike,
No, they don't have TikTok.
Or you know what?
They don't have anything.
your spine stretches out, so he was always having some back problems. So some of the astronauts, they grow about an inch or 2 inches taller.
You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go.
Hold on. Let's circle back here. How much money was that to go to space? Wait, they actually can grow up there?
Yes.
Because your back stretches
Yes.
out?
Yes.
Permanent growth.
Right. You come back.
So when they come down, do they go right back like
yeah, about a
into
month
there?
later. So I go, man, I got to go to space again. I need to get big.
yeah.
So it's muscle atrophy, it's bone atrophy, it's everything atrophy.
Yes. Okay, that's made us better because we developed better exercise machines for us down here. We found ways, we found a pill that sticks for calcium. So those people that are suffering with osteoporosis, now they're better. We can study cells in a unique way that they can grow 3-dimensional in space.
I didn't ever think about that.
While here, that petri dish is only 2 dimensions.
It's flat.
Yeah, it's flat. So there's a lot of possibilities. A lot of people don't realize we grew crystals for every shuttle mission for electronics that we could never grow here on the Earth. We can grow them in a purer form. So right there, we already have a market.
So you can grow that up there, but you
Yes.
can't.
That is so cool.
So there's every time we go up to space, we're always just researching more and more
Yes.
things that we can do up there that we can't do down here. Oh, it's pouring down. Wait, that is so interesting.
There's so much. And there's, again, space is for everybody. Every single discipline that you can think of, we need it for this business.
Yeah.
We have a dedicated, we have the Digital Learning Network, which is our media area over at Building 9, where we have a studio, we do distance learning, cameras. One of my friends, she's a director. Who would think you're going to be a film director working at NASA?
Yeah.
Okay? So there's a lot of different things to make this thing run. And we have 10 major centers all around the country. This is probably one of the most famous because we do train astronauts. But did you know there's one in Ohio? That's where they design the
Skibbity?
capsules. Yeah.
No, I had no idea.
And a couple in California, Edwards down south. You got Jet Propulsion Laboratory, which is close to LA in Pasadena. You got Moffett Field, Ames over in San Francisco. You got Washington, D.C., which is our headquarters. You were just in New Orleans. Just outside New Orleans, a place called Michoud, and that's where they built the first stage of the Saturn V, an external fuel tank for the shuttle, and they built the huge SLS rocket, is just outside New Orleans. And then you have Stennis, this is in Mississippi. Talk about a team. We have our whole country working on this thing.
Oh,
When
man.
they go to Mars,
All of
it's
the
gonna be
remorse.
live stream.
Yes,
Wow.
and it's funny you mentioned that.
Go to Mars.
Because the
Probably like
camera
10 minutes.
technology
Probably like
improved over the
150
years.
years.
Like this early shuttle
Actually,
days
probably
was like
more.
the big camera, and then by time we could put a camera on the external fuel tank and see it go up. And Elon is taking it to the next level. There's a camera everywhere on his spacecraft, so you see everything that's going on there.
It's awesome.
Okay.
Very, very crazy.
Do you guys have like a zero gravity or like a G-force simulator here?
We do.
You do?
Which one, the G's or the zero?
I like the G's.
Okay.
My understanding is you can't
Love
do
the
zero
G.
gravity demonstrations on Earth. That's just not how it works.
Okay, you're absolutely right, but we have ways to mimic it. And so for the long time, we'd go about 5 miles down the road to Ellington, and there would be this airplane
That's cheating.
called the Weightless Wonder, nicknamed the Vomit Comet, that would fly on a parabola.
Comic.
And then at the very top of the curve, remember you push up, and the pilots have to be really precise, because if they do it too much, everybody flies up to the ceiling. They do it too hard, then you're down on the ground. So they get it that sweet spot where you're floating for about 30 seconds. And you do this for about 40 up and downs.
Yakking. Throwing up.
Yeah, like 40.
Okay, some people
Come
get
on, dude.
adapted to it, but they do allow you to get the motion sickness drugs. But you know, that kind of makes you feel weird, a little woozy. So that's one way. There's another way over Building 9. We have a machine called the Partial Gravity Simulator that zeroes out your weight with hydraulics and pneumatics. And then there's another program called Argos. I was part of Argos 10 years ago, and it's a cable that zeroes out your weight, and they put you in a harness, and they can have the weight of the moon, which is about 1/6 of the Earth's gravity, or 1/3 of the gravity, which is like Mars. They had me around the asteroid, so it was like little or no gravity. And that was.
Well, how did I feel?
Any of you all scuba dive?
No,
Anybody
I
scuba
actually
dive?
haven't. No.
Okay, when you scuba dive, there's a little vest. We call it a BC, a buoyancy compensator. You fill it up with air, and it makes you neutrally buoyant, which makes you you don't either sink or float. The only thing difference in space is that the resistance of the water.
Outward pressure.
Yes. We train astronauts in spacesuits at a big pool with the same idea. Buzz Aldrin came up with that, one of our astronauts. He was a Navy guy, scuba diver. He says, rather than learning to float in space, why not we float in the water? Let's practice in the water. And we have pools that we do that. So we have the
Sick.
pool, we have the airplane, and we have these mechanical simulators. But
That's
still not.
very cool.
It's still not zero, but like most realistically, what we can try today is probably just like a G-force simulator.
Could we try anything today? Any of them?
Okay, you'd have to have a physical. So for me to even do the Argos,
God.
they make you go through a whole NASA physical because they don't.
Holy shit.
And then you sign this waiver. So if something goes wrong and you yeah,
It's
and you lose
actual
your arm.
practice, like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you could film in there. The camera would flag it. You'd have to like,
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
Steven
fine.
might have something in mind. No, but you know, seriously, there's other ways. Like if you go up with a buddy on an airplane, they can take you 0G by pushing it over like a stall, and you feel that. It's not a comfortable feeling because when they're in orbit around the Earth, it's just free falling around the Earth. So initially, you have to adapt to that. So a lot of the astronauts, they get motion sickness or space adaptation sickness is what they call it. And after 2 days, you adapt to it.
Wait, can you bring your phone up to space? Like,
I've never really heard them talk about that.
Could you bring out your phone and just take like a picture? And no Wi-Fi, no nothing, just like selfie.
Maybe. I think
I don't see why not, right?
But you have to understand that a lot of these phone systems, it's cells on the ground.
Nice.
And then if you have a satellite cell, the satellite has to be above where you are.
Yeah, not beneath you.
You're right.
That's not really.
But chances are most of them are flying higher though.
How much of an issue is space junk for
It's a big problem.
space junk?
Yeah. You remember the movie Gravity?
It's just like floating around.
Yeah.
Bullshit, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because when you're in orbit around the Earth, you're traveling about 5 miles a second, 17,500 miles. That is 7 times faster than the fastest rifle bullet here on the Earth.
Holy shit.
So just imagine an object coming the opposite way. It's a bad day.
Yeah, that's double speed.
Yes. So we have the Air Force help track us. And now, not just the Air Force, we have Space Force that tracks it now. And they track all the orbital debris. Even objects as small as a softball, we can track. Yeah, so that is a problem, but we're getting better because
So
a lot
you
of
see
junk.
every single thing pretty much.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Wow.
there's definitely pieces that are smaller than a softball.
Yeah, and that causes a problem. We had a piece of paint that fell off an old spacecraft, cracked the windshield on the shuttle.
A little piece of paint.
Yeah, a little piece of paint. But just think about the speed that
No,
we're
yeah,
traveling.
of course. Yeah.
And so the spacesuit, the astronauts have, it's about 14 layers, but one of the layers is Kevlar. Kevlar is the material they use for bulletproof vests, right? And this is to help protect your vitals from micrometeorites. Now, back to your arm situation. We don't have it for your arm. So if your arm gets hit by one, we can patch it up when we get back inside space station.
Is there any recorded instances of someone getting hit by a micrometeor while they're out on a spacewalk? Or is that just a preventative measure?
Preventative measure.
There's just no way you could protect that.
Right.
You're probably just gonna-
So we always use the buddy system. So if somebody gets into trouble, your buddy grabs you, brings you near. So we train for that scenario.
So that would just put a hole through you regardless of Kevlar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's also like one in probably a fucking.
Very small.
Yeah. So now, is it easy when you see these guys and they're making it look? This is the problem with NASA. Sometimes you make things look easy, and people think, oh, anybody can do it. But then there's so many other things you have to think about. So when you want to fly into space privately, think about orbitals and space junk. that you may encounter.
I mean, there's so many things I've learned today that you got to think about that probably you wouldn't think about going to
Yes, but that's
space.
this is where it's not just about you. You got to build that pyramid, that team.
Very interesting.
good?
Yeah. Very
Excellent.
interesting. All right, let's walk that way. Let's do it.
Well, what can you bring up there in its natural shape that's not going to deteriorate rapidly?
Okay, so every 3 months they have a supply craft that brings them fresh fruit
Oh,
and vegetables. But the Mars mission, everything's going to be in a package, and that's going to be a problem because people over time, the food is a big part of being a human.
Yeah, like how long can you go on with food like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then maybe you develop an allergy to something that you keep eating the same way every day.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we're still learning about all of that.
Wow. I'm sure there's medications you can take to mitigate stuff like that, though.
Yeah, but then you have the side effect.
There's always something.
Yeah.
What about like vitamins
Welcome
and
back
stuff?
on
Can
board.
they even bring
Please
that up?
just remember to remain
Yeah.
seated.
They can?
Yeah,
Okay.
so they have the
Exercise
nutritionists
in the vehicle.
that will look at everything in the food, how many calories you need, what do
you need to survive, basically,
yes,
right.
and be not just survive, but be at your best. peak.
Okay, yeah. Because they need to be with.
Yes, mentally, physically, the whole 9 yards.
All right, made it back.
Okey-dokey.
Ugh.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys. I'll be back one day. I'll be back one day.
Yeah, we want to come try all the
Yeah.
cool stuff.
All right,
Thank y'all so much again.
all right.